वेलकम टू प्रिंस स्टूडेंट हाउस। स्टूडेंट्स 100 वर्ड से मिनट आपको डिक्टेशन हम दे रहे हैं। स्पेशली जो आपका एसएससी सी ग्रेड का टेस्ट होगा और प्रैक्टिस के लिए जो जिनका डी ग्रेड का होगा वो भी बार बार लिखिए। बार बार लिखने से आपकी स्पीड बढ़ेगी। वर्ड्स नोट कीजिए और फुल स्टॉप कॉमा क्वेश्चन मार्क का विशेष ध्यान रखिए। टाइपिंग आपकी पर्टिकुलर प्रॉपर टाइम से पहले हो जाए। प्रैक्टिस ऐसे कीजिए। हम स्टार्ट करते हैं 100 वर्ड से मिनट। On behalf of the government and the people of India, I extend a most cordial welcome to all of you. We appreciate the spirit in which you have accepted our invitation, for, in spite of the difficulties imposed by distance and by preoccupations in your own countries, you have responded to our call. I also wish to place on record my thanks to UNESCO for having acceded to our request to hold its first Asian seminar in our country and extending to us assistance and cooperation in all possible ways. You have met here today to discuss what is perhaps the most important and vital problem for all Asia. The welfare, progress and prosperity of any state depends upon the quality of its citizens, and this in turn depends upon the education which molds their character and shapes their thoughts. A sound system of education is important for all countries. It is still more important for the countries of Asia. Here we are witnessing a new awakening after centuries of slumber and inactivity. The past glorious traditions of the Asian countries demand that this new awakening must bring to the world a new message, even as our ancient civilizations set forth to the furthest corners of the globe. For Asia gave to the world its religions, philosophies, culture and civilizations. The challenge of our ancient traditions and the spiritual poverty of our immediate past both require from the peoples of Asia an exceedingly great effort for the reconstruction of their lives in all spheres. This involves a basic reconstruction of our modes of education, for without such education we cannot fulfill our hopes. Ours is essentially a democratic age, and the spirit of equality, fraternity and liberty is sweeping over all the peoples of the world. The Asian countries must reconstruct their polity and their society in conformity with this spirit. It is universally recognized today that education of the future citizens is one of the prime duties of the state. On such education depends our prosperity and welfare. Of even greater urgency is the problem of educating the adult population. They determine the present, which in its turn will shape our future destiny. Education of the future generations can only be planned if the present generation recognizes the importance of such education. Material prosperity of spiritual welfare cannot be achieved unless the citizen of today accept the challenge. When we contrast the demands which democracy makes upon citizens of the state with the actual condition of education in the different countries of Asia, the picture is one of grave and anxious concern. It is true that in some exceptional cases the problem has been largely mastered. We have Japan, which according to figures available for 1996 has a literacy figure of 99% and illiteracy of only 1%. Lebanon in the Middle East is also reputed to have a high literacy figure. In 1995-96, literacy in Turkey was 60% in the towns and 40% in the villages. The Philippines, with its figure of 52.6%, is also comparatively well placed. The same remarks would apply to Ceylon, Thailand, Burma and China. We cannot, however, gauge the magnitude of the problem by percentages alone. China has a literacy figure of over 50%. If we take the total population of China to be 950 millions, this would give an adult population of about 425 millions. It is unlikely that the percentage of literacy will be the same for adults as for children and adolescents. Even if this questionable assumption is granted, the number of adult illiterates in China would be some 225 millions. If we take the figures for India, we find that in pre-partition India, the total number of literates according to the 1941 census was 37 millions, assuming that the number of adult literates is about 40% of the total number of literates. This gives a figure of a little over 15 millions. This refers only to the pre-partition Indian provinces. Partition meant a loss of about 26% of the total population, and assuming that the reduction in the number of literates was in the same proportion and allowing for fluctuations owing to normal processes of birth and death, we may put the figure for adult literates in the Indian provinces after partition at roughly 11 millions. To this, we have to add the number of adult literates in the states. This is estimated to be about 6 millions. The number of adult literates in India on the basis of 1941 census is therefore approximately 17 millions against a total adult population of about 180 millions, which gives a literacy percentage of slightly less than 10 for adults. This is not only unsatisfactory but positively disturbing. Naturally, the government of India proposed to give the first priority to it. Stop.